Midnight revelation. Little girl's incredible message transforms billionaire's life forever. Sam Anderson sped through the quiet streets of town, his sleek black SUV slicing the night air. The glittering skyline loomed behind him, filled with his towering skyscrapers reflecting his hard-earned success. Yet as he drove, a strange pull tugged at him. The distant sounds of laughter danced through the air. Intrigued, he veered off course, following the joyous noise, soon discovering a local festival, glowing with colorful string lights and vibrant faces. He parked and stepped out into the warmth of the evening. The scene before him was a bustling celebration. Families gathered in clusters, sharing stories, laughter, and hope. Sam felt a flutter in his chest, a stark contrast to the empty boardrooms and cold offices he was used to. Here, life pulsed with authenticity, so different from the sterile confines of his corporate castle. As he wandered through the crowd, he met 8-year-old Lily, a whirlwind of energy, with tousled hair and sparkling eyes. She beamed as she illustrated her dream, a community center where children could gather, learn, and feel safe. Hearing her words, Sam felt his heart clench painfully. Who was he to her? No one, a shadow drifting through life, while she shone so brightly, full of hope despite their harsh realities. Sam nodded, hanging on every sentence. He felt her innocence ignite something deep within him, something he thought he'd lost amidst cold ambition and skyscrapers. Suddenly, he found himself breaking his long-held beliefs. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his checkbook. "I'd like to help, to donate," he said impulsively, expecting gratitude, a smile perhaps. But instead, she cocked her head and asked, "What if we built it together?" Her question hung in the air, reverberating through Sam's soul like the beat of a drum. He'd spent years running, building walls higher than his buildings. But this bright girl, filled with dreams, was cracking through the facade. He'd ignored the struggle of people like her, too focused on the top rung of a ladder that had taken him to impressive heights but left him utterly alone. The stars twinkled above them as they walked side by side, Lily sharing tales of resilience and friendship, her eyes wide with excitement. Each step weighed heavier on him, memories of his estranged father and the lost childhood of his own daughter flashing through his mind like a movie reel. Painful truths he'd buried began to bubble to the surface, forcing him to confront the cost of his relentless ascent. Words of kindness, laughter shared in simple moments, brought a raw ache of longing. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Lily's stories made him realize he had built a fortress around himself. But people like her thrived in connection and community. Just as he considered retreating back to his corporate cocoon, he glanced down at her. Her determination stirred something deep inside him. Could he really open up? In that moment, standing on the cusp of a decision, Sam felt himself hanging between two worlds, one illuminated by skyscrapers of glass and steel, the other glowing with hope and possibilities. Could he, the billionaire who once left his family behind, allow a little girl to lead him toward a future built on the very connections he had traded for success? As the festival swirled around them, he knew he stood on the brink of transformation, aware that your life could change with one simple choice if only he had the courage to take that leap. The laughter of the festival faded into the background as Sam took a deep breath, feeling the weight of realization settle on his shoulders. Lily's small frame bubbled with energy, her enthusiasm bridging the gap he had long ago cemented with iron walls. It was an invitation, a chance to explore a world he had shut out for too long. "Okay, let us build it together," he said, his voice barely above a whisper, trembling with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. Sam could almost hear the crackling air around them, charged with new possibilities. He wasn't just agreeing to help with a community center. He was choosing to step away from the isolation that had defined his life. Lily's eyes sparkled like the stars overhead. Really? You mean it? She asked, her disbelief morphing into a smile that could light up the darkest corners of his past. Sam nodded, feeling a warmth rising within him. Absolutely, he replied, more certain now. A vision unfurled before his eyes. Colorful walls, laughter echoing through open spaces, children running freely, a place where families could come together. It felt surreal, dreamy, yet so tangible that he could almost taste the joy of it. But, Sam, Lily's voice pulled him from his reverie. We can't just build it with money. We need more than bricks and walls. We need people. Her small hands gestured around at the festival families. Friends. Connections. I want everyone to be part of this, not just us. It's for them. Her words pierced through Sam like an arrow, striking a chord he didn't know existed. He envisioned the board meetings filled with suits and profit margins, where heart often took a back seat. But here, standing next to this bright-eyed girl, the value shifted. This wasn't just about a building. It was about creating a heartbeat to nourish the very community he had distanced himself from. How do we get started? He asked, feeling his heart race, anticipation mixing with resolve. There's a community meeting next week. Lily exclaimed, her excitement infectious. We can invite everyone. You should share your ideas. They would love to meet you. Sam felt a flicker of nerves, the prospect of facing those he had overlooked scrunching his stomach. They could be skeptical, doubtful. Yet, a rush of adrenaline surged through him. Could a billionaire like him really connect with the stories and struggles of families in this part of town? What if they don't want to listen? Lily placed her tiny hand upon his arm, grounding him. But what if they do? You have a chance to show them you care. After all, you're the one who can help make this dream real. Her simple yet profound belief nudged him forward. It was time to be seen, to stop existing as a phantom in the shadows of his own making. As the night wore on, they made plans for the meeting, sketching ideas on a napkin, the festival ambience wrapping around them like a warm embrace. Laughter bubbled up from the crowd, and for the first time in years, Sam felt it resonating within himself. That leap of faith he had considered, he took it with every word exchanged, every idea shared. But as the festival began to dim, a familiar feeling gnawed at him. Could he truly bridge the gap between his old life and the mess of a new beginning that lay ahead? What if he fumbled or failed? As they wrapped up for the night, Lily pulled a crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. This is my drawing of the community center. Her bright smile made his heart swell. Yet the question lingered, could he really embrace this new journey? As the stars flickered above them, Sam realized the answer could only come with action, and for now, the next step lay in facing the community he could no longer afford to ignore. Was he ready to stand before them and offer not just his resources, but his heart? The days that followed were a whirlwind of preparations. Sam barely recognized his own schedule. Meetings suddenly felt punctuated with a purpose he hadn't known in years. Each morning, he woke with Lily's drawing pinned to his bulletin board, a colorful, messy representation of what the community center could become. It transformed into a daily reminder, challenging him to step into a new light. Finally, the night of the community meeting arrived. Sam parked outside the old-school gymnasium, its worn wooden doors almost creaking a welcome. A sense of dread welled up inside him. What if they saw through his polished exterior? What if the weight of their expectations crushed him? But then he remembered the way Lily's eyes lit up with excitement. She believed in him. He had to try, if not for himself, then for her. As he stepped inside, the buzz of voices warmed him. Families gathered, children raced around. Laughter ricocheted off the tall ceilings, life crackling in a space that had seen so much. Sam's heart tightened. The faces he once overlooked now seemed vibrant with stories, with dreams. Could he really resonate with their hopes? His throat felt tight as he approached the rounded table at the front. Lily spotted him and ran to his side, tugging him forward. Everyone's here. They're so excited to meet you. The moment he took the microphone, a silence fell. A gaze of curiosity turned toward him. Sam gulped. Hello, everyone. I'm Sam. He paused, letting their attention settle. I want to share an idea, a vision for a community center. Place for all of us. He spoke slowly, detailing his dreams of vibrant colors and laughter echoing through its halls. As he spoke, he noticed nods of understanding. Some faces lit up with interest, others furrowed with skepticism. But he pressed on, exposing his vulnerabilities, the hesitations, his desire to connect. Honestly, I've been isolated for far too long, he admitted. I didn't realize just how much I missed being part of a community until I met Lily. He glanced down, noticing the glow of pride in her expression, and his resolve strengthened. This space is for all of you, but we can't build it alone. We need your ideas, your involvement. Your stories matter. A murmur washed through the room as he finished, and he waited, heart racing in trepidation. Would they embrace him? Finally, a woman with kind eyes stood up. I think it's incredible that you want to bring this to life, but I know we're skeptical. We've seen too many lofty promises crash and burn. She paused, gauging the response of her neighbors, then continued, why should we believe you? That single question echoed through the gym. Sam felt his heart race, a pang of fear mixed with determination. Because I want to hear from you, he replied. Not just about what this center should look like, but what it needs to be for you and your families. I'm not here to dictate anything. Lily's voice chimed in. We can do this together. We can make it special. One by one, hands began to rise, ideas starting to flow like a wave of energy that pushed against Sam's fears. As stories were shared, blank walls transformed into colorful visions filled with possibilities. Hope blossomed between those gathered, binding them together inside that gym. After hours of discussion, Sam left feeling a rush unlike any he had experienced in years. Their trust felt like a foundation beneath him, perhaps sturdy enough to support his new path. Yet, standing outside, a deeper worry gnawed at him beneath the excitement. Could he genuinely be a part of this life-changing alliance? As he glanced back at the building, a flutter of resolve filled his heart. He had the potential to spark real change. But would it be enough to heal the fractures in both his life and the lives of others? The answer beckoned him to delve deeper, and just as he turned to leave, his phone buzzed in his pocket. An unknown number. With a quick swipe, he hesitated. What would this message bring? Could it alter the course of everything he had just begun to build? Sam stared at the screen, his heart skipping a beat. The message blinked back at him. We need to talk. It's important. It was odd, too urgent for a random text, and he felt a flicker of dread. Who was this? Why now? With Lily's excited laughter still echoing in his ears, he decided to step back inside the gym. The conversations were still buzzing, voices intermingled with the laughter of children chasing each other around the floor. He shifted on his feet, feeling the weight of the message in his pocket. He needed to know who was reaching out and why, but he didn't want to abandon this moment. Lily bounded over, her smile as radiant as the lights overhead. Did you see all the ideas? They want a playground, a garden, classes for art. Can you believe it? Her enthusiasm was contagious, warming the corners of his heart. Yeah, it's amazing, sweetheart, he smiled back, ruffling her hair. Yet the tension in his gut only grew. I have to take this call for a second. Can you hold tight? Yeah. I'll help Mom with the snacks, she chirped, dashing off into the crowd. Sam stepped into a quieter corner of the gym, taking a deep breath. He dialed the number back, the ringing cutting through the joyful noise surrounding him. After what felt like an eternity, a calm voice answered. Sam? This is Mark. We need to talk about the project. Mark? Confusion flashed through him. Mark was his former business partner, a name he hadn't heard in months. What's going on? I heard you're starting a community project. I have some ideas that could help financially, Mark continued, his tone casual but laced with an undertone of urgency. Financially, Sam felt a mix of excitement and hesitation. The money could mean development, could accelerate everything he just laid bare to the community. But it also brought back a wave of memories. Their past partnership had ended on shaky ground. Deep rifts formed over disagreements and ambitions. Look, I know our history wasn't perfect, but I'm ready to make it right. The community needs this, Mark urged. Let us meet. Tomorrow. Sam glanced around at the families now mingling and laughing, the space brimming with potential. I'll think about it, he replied cautiously. Sam, don't put this aside. This could be important. Trust me. The line went dead, leaving Sam staring at his phone. What did he truly want? Did he need Mark's money? Or could he build this community on his own terms? Doubts seeped in, twisting the hope he had felt just moments before. With a sigh, he pocketed his phone and headed back to find Lily, wrestling with the weight of their conversation and what it might mean. The prospect of stepping back into the old world alongside Mark unsettled him. Yet, how much would it take to build something real, something lasting? Dad, Lily called, her voice slicing through his thoughts. Can we paint the center together? I want it to be beautiful. His chest warmed at her request. Of course, we'll have the biggest mural, he promised, but could that be enough? The night stretched ahead of him, filled with possibilities and decisions that could lead him down a path he was unsure he wanted to walk again. As he took her hand, the vibrant energy of the gym faded into a blur of colors. Past and future collided in his mind, and perhaps a dangerous threshold lay right ahead. He had a decision to make. Would he allow his past to revive, or would he forge a new legacy with the community and Lily? The true challenge loomed in the shadows, as a flicker of doubt slithered into his heart. What if Mark's influence began to overshadow everything he hoped to create? Sam watched as Lily dashed off to help her mom, a whirlwind of energy. The laughter around him faded momentarily as he wrestled with uncertainty. Everything had felt so promising just moments ago. Now, with Mark's voice still echoing in his head, the possibility of old ties resurfacing felt heavy. Hey Sam, a familiar voice interrupted his thoughts. It was Mike, an old friend from high school who had just looped back into town. You look as if you just saw a ghost. What's up? Oh, just thinking about some things, Sam replied, forcing a smile. Mike raised an eyebrow. Yeah. You're not contemplating running for mayor, are you? He joked, nudging him playfully. Very funny. Just community work, Sam said, trying to shake off the weight pressing on him. Well, whatever it is, count me in. I'm all for making our town better, Mike said, his sincerity breaking through Sam's cloud of doubt. Thanks, Mike. That means a lot. Sam felt a spark of hope reignite within him. If he surrounded himself with friends who believed in his vision, maybe he could navigate this uncertainty. You know what? Let us keep this energy going, Mike suggested. How about we rally some folks, brainstorm? There's power in numbers. With a hesitant nod, Sam agreed. He allowed a small smile to form. Perhaps he didn't have to face these decisions alone. Just then, a commotion near the gym entrance drew their attention. A couple of kids had tripped over a table filled with snacks, scattering goodies everywhere. Sam felt his heart race as he watched Lily rush towards the scene. She dove into the mess, her laughter infectious as she helped her friends pick up the fallen treats. That girl is something else, Mike said, shaking his head with a chuckle. Yeah, she really is, Sam replied, a swell of pride hitting him. In that moment, he realized that for Lily, this community center wasn't just a project, it was a home where friendships would blossom, where laughter would echo, and where dreams could grow. As the cleanup continued, Sam's phone chimed again. He glanced down. Another message from Mark flashed on the screen. You can't do this alone, Sam. Let us meet. He couldn't shake the unease that bubbled in his gut. The truth was, he was afraid of what accepting help might mean. Would ward him back into a world he'd tried to leave behind? Let us grab a drink later, he told Mike, feeling the twinge of anxiety ease as he stayed present, anchored by Lily's spirited antics and Mike's encouraging presence. He made his way towards the snack table, stepping carefully over the strewn chips and juice boxes. Lily, he called gently, kneeling beside her. Look, Dad. She held up a juice box, triumphant. We can use these when we paint. Yes. Super important for our mural, Sam said, grinning. In this chaotic moment, surrounded by spilled snacks, laughter, and the enduring potential of his daughter's dreams, He felt compelled to make a choice. Did he want to dive into the familiarity of Mark's world, or fight for something that truly reflected who he was becoming? "Everything okay?" Lily asked, her innocent eyes searching his. "Yeah, sweetheart. Just making some choices." As he embraced her small frame, he made a silent vow. He wouldn't allow fear to take root. He wouldn't drown in old shadows. "How about we plan our mural tonight?" "Yes." Lily cheered, her joy lighting up the space around them. But as the evening wore on, the question remained. Would his decisions lead him to forge a new legacy, unencumbered by the past, or pull him back into a world he thought he had left behind? The notion hung in the air, thick with possibility and dread. How would he balance the whispers of history with the urgent call of a brighter, communal future? Tomorrow's meeting with Mark loomed large. So many answers awaited him behind that door. The sun dipped low, casting a warm glow across the gathering. Sam felt the atmosphere shift, a gentle buzz of excitement humming all around him. It was as if the community center had become a microcosm of hope and youthful dreams, buzzing with potential. "Dad, can we make the mural with lots of colors? Like a rainbow?" Lily's voice rang out sweetly, pulling him from his thoughts. "Of course, honey. The more colors, the better," he said, feeling a warmth spread in his chest. Her enthusiasm was magnetic, sparking a flame within him that he desperately needed right now. Mike ambled over, a grin still plastered on his face. "You know, I got some paint left over from my last project. It's just sitting there. I could bring it tomorrow." "Really?" Sam's pulse quickened. Help was already manifesting, and just at the right moment. "That would be amazing. We can get started earlier then. All together we'll make it a masterpiece," Mike declared, his positive energy infectious. Sam nodded, his worries swirling just beneath the surface. Today was a welcome distraction, but tomorrow's meeting with Mark lurked like a storm cloud over this vibrant moment. He felt an urge to confide in Mike, yet somehow the words caught in his throat. "Everything okay, man?" Mike's gaze sharpened. He could sense something off. "Yeah, I'm fine," Sam lied, but even he could hear the tremble in his voice. Lily tugged at his hand, pulling him back to her world. "Look, they're going to start the dance party soon." Her eyes sparkled, radiating pure joy. As they moved closer to the sound of laughter and the rhythm pulsing through the gym, Sam noticed the familiar faces of friends and neighbors coming together. The old feelings of belonging washed over him. Maybe he could just stay here, anchored in the present. Perhaps he didn't need to meet Mark after all. But then his phone buzzed again, the screen lighting up with Mark's name. Sam hesitated, his thumb hovering over the notification. "Just one more," he muttered and opened the message. "I know what you need, Sam. Let us talk." Lily's laughter cut through his thoughts again as she danced away, lost in her joy, unrestrained, completely unburdened by adult fears. How had he lost that carefree spirit? "Hey Sam, ready?" Mike's voice snapped him back. "Yeah, just a sec." Sam lingered, trying to grasp the moment, to ground himself against the tide of his indecision. "Dad," Lily called again, hand outstretched toward him, her little face illuminated with pure delight. "Dance with me." With a deep breath, Sam wiped the unease from his mind and joined her on the makeshift dance floor. The laughter, the music, the colors washing over him, how could he let it all go? But the pull of Mark's message clenched at his heart. A gnawing reminder of past obligations that pressed hard against this hopeful present. What if this is my chance to build something new? He whispered to himself as he twirled Lily around. "Dance, Daddy," she squealed, oblivious to the turmoil inside him. And just then, something clicked. In that moment, as she spun beneath the twinkling lights, he felt the weight of his choices shift. He could choose to prioritize her happiness, their dreams, or succumb to the past again. Her laughter swelled around him, and it felt like a lifeline. But would it be enough to keep him steady facing Mark tomorrow? "Tomorrow he'll want to pull me back," Sam thought, churning uneasily. With each twirl, he found himself balancing between two worlds, the one chasing dreams and the one haunted by old ties. What do I do? He muttered softly, the question echoing within. Would he lean into the life blooming around him or rewrite the script he thought he'd left behind? The last note faded, leaving a silence that felt heavier than the music and laughter surrounding them. All eyes fell on him, waiting for his decision. As the celebration likely swelled onward, dreams danced mockingly just out of reach. How would he decide what path to follow? And as the sun disappeared behind the horizon, so too did the boundary between past and future teetering on the edge of a decision that could change everything. Where would he find the courage to leap? The music had faded, but the moment lingered thick in the air. Sam stood at the center of the gym, feeling like he was suspended in time. Every face around him was expectant, and he wondered if they could sense the turmoil storming inside him. He fought against the rising tide of panic, a twist in his gut, a bead of sweat trickling down his back. What if he faltered? What if he chose wrong? Lily's eyes sparkled with joy as she pulled at his hand again, tugging him back from the brink. Come on, Daddy, let us keep dancing. He managed to smile, letting her lightness wrap around him, grounding him somehow. The world felt so vibrant here, so alive. Why was it so hard to let go? As he spun her in circles, her laughter echoed like music to his ears. She was so carefree, so blissfully unaware of the weight he carried. But she had given him a gift, a fleeting taste of a life unburdened by regret. It was intoxicating. See? SNT this fun? She breathed, her cheeks bright with excitement. Yeah, it really is, he replied, watching her twirl into other children, ruffling the fabric of her dress. A splash of color in a sea of gray doubt. After a few moments, an idea took shape in his mind, a small spark of bravery. Maybe tonight wasn't about hiding from the past. Nor was it about the unavoidable confrontation with Mark. Maybe this night was simply about clarity, reflection, growth. Sam knelt down, meeting Lily's gaze. What colors do you think will be in the mural? Purple, and orange, and green, and Daddy, we can put a sun and a moon too, she exclaimed, her enthusiasm bubbling over. Yes, let us do all of that, he laughed, a sense of ease washing over him like the warmth of sunlight breaking through clouds. And in that moment he decided whatever happened with Mark, he could create a new palette for his life, one full of its own vibrant hues. Then, almost as if fate had conspired to interrupt his moment of revelry, Mike approached again, this time with a group of kids in tow. Hey, how about a little game of freeze dance? He proposed, his voice brightening the mood even further. Lily's eyes widened. Can we, Daddy? Please? Of course, Sam replied, the corner of his mouth twitching upward. As they all gathered in a circle, the game ignited laughter and play, the simplicity reigniting the spirit of the evening. They moved to the beat, some kids giggling, others concentrating fiercely, and Sam felt every worry lift a little more. This is where he belonged, right here at the axis of joy and belonging. But even as he spun with his daughter, the uneasiness lurking in the pit of his stomach remained. He had to confront his past. Mark would be waiting. The reality couldn't be escaped. Clawed at him, wanting to drag him back into its chaos. And yet, for tonight he was here with Lily, in this bubble of laughter. Tomorrow he would face whatever Mark had to say. With each beat of the music he felt a little braver. Let us make a deal, he proclaimed playfully, waving his arms out wide. The kids leaned in, entranced. No matter what happens tomorrow, we'll make this mural. And we'll make it bright. Deal? Deal. They screamed back, their energy surging throughout the gym. As the night crawled on, Sam held onto that deal as tightly as he held Lily in their dance. But just as the conclusion approached, a sense of fate crashed over him when his phone buzzed again. He glanced down to see another text from Mark. Don't forget what we talked about. Didn't he forget? What did that even mean? In the mere blink of an eye, the laughter and warmth around him shrank away, replaced by another wave of anxiety. Was that just a reminder of who he used to be? Or was it a warning about who he might have to be? With a heart pounding in his chest, Sam stood at the edge of a choice. One foot in this jubilant world, and the other in a past that was clawing back into his life like shadows creeping in. Could a dance hall busting with laughter carry him through the storm waiting outside? The weight of tomorrow loomed closer. What would his answer be when the time came to choose? Would he walk back into shadows, or would he rise into the light? Sam's heart raced as he took in the vibrant glow of the gym, the laughter of children echoing like familiar music. Each giggle, each spin of little feet gave him a momentary reprieve from the weight of Mark's words. He inhaled deeply, releasing it slowly, channeling every ounce of joy Lily radiated into a fake bravado. But as he did, the dread sat heavy, a stone in his stomach, reminding him that tomorrow would demand much more than he could possibly give. "Let us do one last freeze dance," Mike shouted, his enthusiasm contagious. The kids cheered in unison, and Lily's eyes sparkled with mischief. She tugged on Sam's hand again, practically bouncing with energy. "Come on, Daddy. You can't let these kids beat you." "All right, one more," he replied, plastering a grin on his face. As the music blared back to life, he lost himself in the moment, spinning with Lily, who was a blur of laughter and shouts. He felt the rhythm beat through him, drowning out Mark's looming presence. Maybe, just maybe, he could carry this lightness with him. And then the music stopped. Frantic little bodies froze mid-step, frozen grins wide and eyes darting. Sam couldn't help but chuckle at the sight. He joined the kids in their imaginative stillness, and for a fleeting moment, he felt liberated from the chaos that awaited him. "Okay, freeze," yelled Mike, his face winking with humor as he strode around, carefully inspecting the frozen squad. Just then, Sam's phone buzzed again. He glanced down, his blood running cold. This time, Mark had sent an image, a photo of their old crew from years ago, all smiles and youthful dreams. Right under the photo was a simple message: "Don't forget our dreams." Not just a reminder, but a challenge. Sam's breath hitched. Those dreams, buried just beneath the surface of his consciousness, came rushing back, memories flooding his mind like an uninvited wave. They had seemed so easy to ignore. Back then, life felt straightforward, full of reckless possibility. Somehow, they had been misplaced in the turmoil of the years. Lily must have sensed the change in him. She plopped down beside him, her small hand resting on his knee. "Daddy, you okay?" she asked, her voice small and sincere, tugging at a part of him he thought he had tucked away. "Yeah, sweet pea. Just thinking," he murmured, forcing a smile that he studied long enough to know how to craft. "But you know what? You're right. I'm here right now. And tomorrow we'll figure it out together just like we talked about." He felt her squeeze his knee, and it steadied him. If he could hold onto the hope in her eyes, maybe he could face whatever was waiting for him. As Mike started the music again, the house lights dimmed, and laughter burst back out in waves, drowning out every dark thought. Sam joined in again, spinning Lily around and watching as she waved her arms like a bird in flight. Soon enough, he too was swept up by the music, letting go of the burdens that had weighed him down. But deep down, a battle raged, the battle of who he once was and who he wanted to become. The night felt electric, but the morning shadow loomed larger. As the dance carried on, his phone buzzed once more. Suddenly, every beat felt like a countdown to the moment he had been dreading, each pulse reminding him of what lay ahead, an unveiling of truths long hidden. What awaited him tomorrow would change everything, or perhaps redeem everything. As the last song ended and cheers erupted, he realized he would have to confront more than just Mark. He would need to confront himself. In a world filled with laughter and joy, could he summon the courage to face the truth and step into the light? Or would the shadows that shaped him pull him back into their depths? Tomorrow was closing in fast. He could almost feel the chill of reality brushing against him. Would he stand up and take charge of his path? Or would he let the past dictate the color of his future? As the laughter echoed in the gym, Sam felt a twinge of relief wash over him. But it was a fragile kind of relief. The music had faded, but the joy lingered, drawing him away from the edge of looming despair. Lily bounced over to him, cheeks flushed, her tiny hands still sparkling from the glow of the fairy lights strung around the gym's walls. "Daddy, Can we get ice cream after this? The sweetness of her voice tugged at his heart. Of course. Ice cream it is, he replied, happier to see her excitement than to think about what lay ahead. Yay! She spun around, laughter spilling out, and just like that, the shadows seemed to retreat a little more. As they began to gather their things, Sam's phone buzzed again, but he ignored it this time, focusing on Lily. She was chatting away, oblivious to the weight of the world resting on his shoulders. They walked hand in hand towards the exit, and with every step, Sam wrestled with what he couldn't show her. So much was on the line, and the impending confrontation with Mark gnawed at him like a persistent itch. "Daddy, look at this," Lily squealed, pointing at a colorful mural on the wall, a vibrant tree with handprints in all shades painting its leaves. Her innocence lit his heart, but it also cast a sharp shadow against the steel-gray thoughts of Mark's words. "Can we paint something like that at home? We could make it huge." "Absolutely. We'll turn the living room into our own art gallery," he said, forcing a grin as he bent down to her level. In that moment, the weight shifted ever so slightly. Maybe they could paint over the dark corners together. They stepped outside into the cool night air, the world seeming to hold its breath around them. Stars twinkled above, tiny beacons of hope. Sam glanced at his phone, the buzzing demanding his attention. With a deep sigh, he steeled himself and opened the message. This time it was a video, a brief clip of Mark talking. Sam felt his brow furrow and his stomach twist. "Hey Sam," Mark's voice rang out, smooth yet sharp. "Just checking in. Would hate for you to back out now. Remember those dreams?" The screen flashed with images of their young selves, carefree and ambitious. But right after that, it shifted to something darker. "Tomorrow's the day. You can't just forget us." The video cut off, but the message lingered, twisting in Sam's chest. He looked up at Lily, who was too busy chasing fireflies, sparkling little lights dancing like his ambitions had once done. Crushed him. "Daddy?" He turned to see Lily looking up at him, concern in her eyes, as if she could sense his struggle. "Why do you look sad?" His heart clenched. "I'm not sad, honey. Just thinking about some things." He paused, searching for the right words. "Sometimes grown-ups have hard choices to make." Lily nodded with the wisdom only a child could possess. "But you're brave, right? Like the superheroes?" Her faith filled him with a warmth that battled against the chill inside. "Yeah, I'm brave," he said, slightly more convinced than before. They reached their car, and as he opened the door for her, Sam pulled her close for a moment. "You know, you make everything brighter. I promise to be my best self for you." Her small hands hugged around his waist before she settled into her seat, and for a fleeting moment, he felt powerful. But deep within, the voice of doubt whispered, could he really transform tomorrow? The stakes were higher than ice cream. Could he overcome the shadows? As he slid into the driver's seat, he knew a decision was brewing, a storm gathering strength within him. What would he do when the confrontation with Mark finally unfolded? He started the engine, taking a deep breath while darkness loomed ahead. This was only the beginning. What if in confronting Mark, he discovered something far more terrifying than he had ever imagined? The morning sun crept through the blinds, slicing the darkness of night into soft golden stripes. Sam blinked awake, the weight of anticipation pressing heavily on his chest. Today was the day everything he had worked toward hinged on this moment. He threw back the covers, heart racing as memories of last night washed over him. Laughter, joy, and the sparkling eyes of Lily flickered in his mind like a brilliant firework display. Yet, alongside that warmth, a shadow loomed. He had promised to face Mark this morning and with it, confront the specter of his past. Would he crumble under the weight of old ties? Or could he emerge with something new, something alive? As he dressed, his mind churned, wrestled with doubt. The stakes had never been higher. "Daddy!" Lily called out from the kitchen, chirping with the excitement that always birthed light amidst his darkness. The smell of pancakes wafted through the air, cinnamon and syrup vying to coax out his tension. He stepped into the kitchen and was met with her radiant smile, her joy unwavering, a stark contrast to his swirling thoughts. "Hey there, sunshine. Ready for a big day?" he asked, kneeling to meet her eye level. "Yep. I want rainbow pancakes," she declared, giggling as they slid out of the frying pan, perfectly fluffy. "As you wish," he chuckled, flipping a pancake in the air before plating it. Watching her sprinkle extra syrup made everything feel lighter. Here, in the warmth and simplicity of the moment, he found a fleeting sense of clarity. With breakfast complete, they hopped into the SUV, the bright morning sun streaming down, and headed toward the community center. Sam's heart pounded with each passing moment, anticipation and fear intertwined like vines around his thoughts. When they arrived, the old school gym stood proud, a beacon of hope amidst the worlds that separated them. His past, filled with towering ambition, and this budding present, bursting with possibility. He felt Lily's small hand slip into his. "Will it be okay, Daddy?" she asked, peering up at him. "Yeah, it'll be amazing," he assured her, though uncertainty tinged his voice. He wanted to believe it needed to for her sake. As they entered the gym, his nerves began to crackle. Families and kids filled the space, energy humming in the air. But one figure stood out. Mark was positioned at the far end, arms crossed and jaw set a-suit against the bright palette of the room. "Lily, can you go say hi to your friends for a bit?" Sam suggested, breathing deep to steel himself. "Okay, Daddy, I'll be right back." She skipped off, joining the throng of children eager for their laughter to fill the space again. Sam approached Mark, each footstep echoing in the looming silence. "Hey, Sam," Mark replied, his tone clipped. "You're here. I was starting to wonder." "Let us get this over with," Sam said, an edge of defiance creeping into his voice. "I want to do this on my terms." Mark nodded, his eyes narrowing. "That's the thing, Sam. You can't fly solo anymore. You've got a community waiting. But they need more than just enthusiasm. They need a foundation. Is that what you think? A financial safety net?" Sam's voice rose, sharp. "That's the problem, Mark. I don't want to rely on old dreams that shoved me into isolation." A moment of heavy silence passed between them. Sam glanced toward Lily, who was laughing, playing tag. She represented everything he wanted, everything that mattered. "Look, I'm here because I want to build something real," he pushed. "Not just with money, but with heart. Can't you see that?" Mark's expression flickered, doubt crossing his face. "I do see it. But you need help, Sam. You think a few smiles will bring this to life?" "Absolutely. But only if it comes from a real commitment," Sam replied, the urgency swelling in him. "I want to be clear. I'm done with the past. I will find a way, and I will take this community into my heart, not my portfolio." Mark was silent, studying Sam's expression. "What if I offer guidance? Partnership, but on your terms?" The offer hung in the air, drifting amidst the chaos of kids and laughter. Sam felt shaky yet grounded, exhilarated yet terrified. "I need to think about that," Sam responded after a moment, finally feeling the weight of the decision settle against his heart. Part of him craved that familiar safety of control, while the other screamed for the promise of genuine connection. Before Mark could respond, Lily rushed back, eyes sparkling. "Daddy, they want to paint a mural. Can we, please?" In that moment, everything felt possible again. The fears of yesterday morphed into fuel for a bright new destiny. "Of course, let us make it magical," he declared, kneeling to gaze into her happy, knowing eyes. As the conversations bubbled up, he turned back to Mark. "I'll consider your offer, but right now is about creating something together, about building community." Mark sighed, yet a hint of enthusiasm flickered in his gaze. "All right, I respect that. Just know this isn't easy, it's a risk." "Life is risk," Sam said, a newfound resolve eating away the remnants of doubt left behind. With each moment spent laughing and planning with the kids, building connections towards something tangible, he felt the grip of the past loosening its hold. Today wasn't just about confronting Mark. It was about choosing the light, embracing the vibrant chaos Lily beckoned him toward. As the paintbrushes began to fly, the walls came alive with colorful dreams, bright suns, swirling rainbows, and he understood the truth of power. The real wealth lay within the joy shared amongst them, the laughter of children echoing loudly as he let go of what had once bound him. And with every stroke of the brush, Sam realized he was no longer the shadows of his ambitions, but a part of something greater, a heartbeat woven into a diverse tapestry of hopes and dreams. "We're doing this together," he declared, throwing his arms around Lily, feeling joy wrap around him like the colors splashed across the wall. There was no looking back, only moving forward, into a radiant future painted with the promise of community and connection. And as smiles came easy and laughter erupted, he knew he had made his choice. Sam had stepped heart-first into his new beginning, and there was no turning back. Today was only the start of the transformation, a movement igniting from the very spirit of the community. The shadows may have knocked, but they could not enter. Today, they had painted over fear with love, and that victory burned brighter than any corporate achievement ever could. This was the moment he had been waiting for. A song burst into the air, sealing promises, dreams, and a bond stronger than any past could fracture. With Lily at his side, he stepped fully into the light, ready for everything that awaited him. He had a community to build, connections to foster, and most importantly a legacy to redefine. And so, his heart soared as joy poured out like freshly squeezed colors, brightening the world around him, filling the space with hope as the laughter echoed into a brilliant tomorrow. Now was the time to celebrate what truly mattered. As Sam stood shoulder to shoulder with Lily and the community, he lifted his paintbrush high, a testament to love, courage, and new beginnings. Together they were unstoppable. And just outside, the sun blazed on, embracing them all in its golden embrace, validating that they had indeed begun building a magnificent future, one filled with dreams, laughter, and connection, grounded firmly in their shared hope. Now, as the mural took shape, he couldn't help but feel a sense of belonging wash over him. This was just the beginning. So stand tall, dream big, and step forward, for the journey was just getting started. Did this story inspire you? Hit that subscribe button immediately so you don't miss our next exclusive tales. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help others discover this transformation. Comment below with your reactions and how you felt at the end. And share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this journey unfold. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Real fans understand that your support means everything,